Did you cry?
No. No, never shed a single tear at that point. I was in shock. You know, you're 12 years old.
Could Princess Diana's tragic death hold secrets that have remained buried for decades?
Do you ever feel your mom's presence?
For me, it's constant. It has been over the last 2 years, more so than ever before. I feel her presence in almost everything that I do now.
Prince Harry has broken his silence, sharing deeply personal revelations that challenge everything we thought we knew. From the unimaginable grief of a 12-year-old boy to shocking conspiracies that Diana might have faked her own death, Harry's truth is raw, heartbreaking, and absolutely worth hearing. This isn't just a story about loss, it's about love, strength, and the haunting shadows of a royal legacy. Let's uncover the truth. Prince Harry's journey of grief. Prince Harry's recent reflections on his mother, Princess Diana, have offered a heartfelt glimpse into how her presence shaped his life. Even in her absence, Diana's values and love have endured, serving as a light for Harry through joyful and turbulent moments. By sharing his experiences, Harry invites the world to see Diana not just as a public figure, but as a devoted mother whose influence continues to ripple through time. Growing up as the son of the people's princess meant living under intense public scrutiny. Yet beneath the relentless spotlight, Diana worked tirelessly to ensure her sons experienced life beyond the confines of royal tradition. Harry often recalls how she encouraged compassion and empathy, showing him the importance of understanding and connecting with those less fortunate. Whether visiting hospitals, embracing patients with AIDS, or advocating for humanitarian causes, Diana's actions left an indelible mark on Harry's character. Despite her tragic passing in 1997, when Harry was just 12 years old, her teachings became the foundation of his moral compass. However, the grief of losing her at such a tender age was a profound and defining moment in his life. In his candid accounts, Harry describes how he struggles to process his emotions, feeling an immense void where his mother's presence once was. Her death was not just a personal loss, but one magnified by a global outpouring of mourning, leaving little space for a young boy to grieve privately. What makes Harry's revelations particularly moving is his vulnerability. He has spoken openly about how his mother's influence guided his decision to step back from royal duties and prioritize his family's well-being. It was Diana's courage to challenge convention and her determination to follow her convictions that inspired him to take bold steps for the sake of mental health and personal freedom. In the beginning, Prince Harry's belief that Princess Diana may have faked her death was a poignant and deeply human response to the profound grief he felt after her tragic passing. Speaking in his subsequent interviews, Harry revealed the emotional complexities of losing his mother in such a public and shocking manner. The disbelief and hope that she might still be alive were not only coping mechanisms for a grieving child, but also a reflection of the extraordinary circumstances surrounding Diana's life and death. It continued for many years. Harry found himself unable to fully accept that Diana was gone. Her death in a Paris car crash, while being chased by media, left an indelible mark on him and his brother, Prince William. Harry admitted to Anderson Cooper in a 2023 interview that he clung to the idea that his mother had staged her death to escape the relentless media attention that had plagued her life. "I just refused to accept that she was gone," Harry said, describing how he held on to the thought that Diana might resurface someday, inviting her sons to join her in a life away from the public eye. For Harry, imagining that she had faked her death offered a glimmer of hope, albeit one that was increasingly difficult to sustain as time went on. The media's invasive role in Diana's life and her untimely death only deepened Harry's mistrust and fueled his suspicions. Photos of Diana in her final moments haunted him. When Harry attempted to review the evidence surrounding the crash, his private secretary shielded him from the most distressing images. Still, Harry did see some of the crash photos, including reflections of photographers in the windows of Diana's car as they captured the scene instead of helping her. These details reinforced Harry's feelings of anger and betrayal toward the press, emotions that would shape much of his outlook in later years. As Harry grew older, his need for closure led him to investigate the details of the crash. While visiting Paris years later, Harry asked his driver to replicate the route and speed of his mother's car on the night she died. This experience, though harrowing, helped him understand the physical reality of the crash. It also began to unravel the notion that Diana might still be alive, as the evidence made it increasingly clear that her death was as tragic as it seemed. Yet this process of acceptance was neither quick nor easy. Prince William reportedly shared similar thoughts during their youth. The brothers, united in their grief, found solace in discussing their feelings and doubts about their mother's death. These shared emotions created a bond between them, even as they struggled individually with the enormity of their loss. Harry's journey from denial to acceptance highlights the human need for closure and the challenges of grieving in the public eye. It underscores the enduring impact of her life and legacy, as well as the profound void left by her absence. While Prince Harry's journey of grief highlights the profound impact of his mother's loss, it also reveals how her life, filled with struggles and strength, shaped his path and the legacy she left behind. A life of struggles, strength, and legacy. Princess Diana's life appeared to be the perfect modern fairy tale. A young woman plucked from relative obscurity to marry a prince and become one of the most adored public figures in the world. Yet behind the palace doors and the glamour of royal life, Diana faced challenges that would later reveal the harrowing emotional toll of being a member of the British royal family. Her story is one of heartbreak, resilience, and a struggle to find herself amid relentless scrutiny and betrayal. When Diana married Prince Charles in 1981, she was only 20 years old, unprepared for the public and private demands of her new role. Overnight, she went from a quiet life as a kindergarten assistant to being a global icon. While the world celebrated the fairy tale wedding and her rise to the role of Princess of Wales, Diana quickly realized that her marriage and life within the royal family were far from the dream she had envisioned. Diana's early days in the royal household were marked by profound isolation. Despite living in grand palaces and attending events filled with thousands of admirers, she felt emotionally and physically alone. The royal family adhered to a strict code of conduct and formality that left little room for emotional expression. Diana, warm and empathetic by nature, struggled to find her place in an environment that often prioritized tradition over personal connection. In interviews, Diana later revealed how she would often cry in her room, feeling unheard and unseen. This emotional solitude became even more pronounced as her marriage to Charles deteriorated. Diana's attempts to connect with her husband were met with indifference, and she soon discovered that he was still deeply attached to his former flame, Camilla Parker Bowles. The revelation of Charles's ongoing relationship with Camilla was devastating for Diana. While she initially entered the marriage with hope and love, she soon realized that she was competing for her husband's attention and affection. In a candid interview with journalist Martin Bashir in 1995, Diana famously remarked, "There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded."
Well, there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded.
The betrayal was not just devastating, it also highlighted the double standards Diana faced within the royal family. While her every move was eyed by the public and press, her husband's indiscretions were quietly tolerated. This stark inequality compounded her feelings of helplessness and anger, leading her to question her place within the monarchy. Diana's emotional struggles manifested in various ways, including an intense battle with bulimia. She later shared that the eating disorder was a way of coping with the immense pressure and feelings of inadequacy. The condition began shortly after her engagement to Charles and worsened as her marriage unraveled. "I didn't like myself," Diana admitted, acknowledging how the stress of her royal duties and personal life affected her self-esteem. Diana's candor about her mental health challenges was groundbreaking, especially in the context of the rigid and often stoic royal family. She spoke openly about feelings of depression and despair, describing moments when she felt like she was losing control. Her vulnerability was a sharp contrast to the polished image expected of her as a royal figure, but it resonated with millions who saw in her a reflection of their own struggles. In a world that demanded perfection, Diana's openness about her flaws and pain was both revolutionary and risky. She sought professional help and turned to therapy to navigate her emotions, but her efforts were often dismissed or misunderstood by those around her. The royal family, bound by a tradition of keeping personal matters private, struggled to support her in a way she needed. Harry's later reflections on his mother's struggles reveal the depth of her pain. As a child, he witnessed her battle her demons while trying to maintain a brave face for her sons in the public. Harry's insights offer a window into Diana's humanity, showing a woman torn between her duty and her personal well-being. The media's obsession with Diana was both a blessing and a curse. While it amplified her humanitarian efforts and won her the adoration of millions, it also exacerbated the difficulties she faced in her personal life. Her struggles, missteps, and moments of vulnerability were splashed across tabloids, often with little regard for the truth. The relentless scrutiny reached a fever pitch after her separation from Charles. As a single mother trying to navigate a life outside the confines of the royal family, Diana found herself targeted even more aggressively by the press. Her every relationship, decision, and appearance became fodder for headlines, further eroding her sense of security. Even in the face of her struggles, Diana was fiercely devoted to her sons, Prince William and Prince Harry. She worked to give them as normal a childhood as possible, taking them on trips to amusement parks and fast food restaurants, and exposing them to the realities of life outside royal privilege. Her efforts to shield them from the harsher aspects of royal life reflected her desire to protect them from the same struggles she faced. Harry's decision to step away from royal duties was, in part, influenced by his desire to avoid the same fate as his mother. He and his wife Meghan Markle faced similar media scrutiny and institutional challenges, prompting them to seek a life outside the confines of the monarchy. But could history be repeating itself in the royal family, with Harry and Meghan now facing the same toxic pressures that shattered his mother's life? Will they be able to break free from the pattern of pain and isolation that plagued Diana? Or will they fall victim to the same forces that drove her to despair? Echoes of Diana in modern royal life. Prince Harry reveals the painful similarities between the struggles he and his wife, Meghan Markle, have faced and those endured by his mother, Princess Diana. Harry reflects on how both he and Meghan, like Diana before them, have suffered under the weight of intense media scrutiny, the lack of support from the royal family, and the toll that living in the public eye has taken on their emotional well-being. Through Harry's eyes, it's clear that the toxic patterns that shaped his mother's life and tragic fate have re-emerged in his own life and Meghan's. A central point Harry underscores is the invasion of privacy both Diana and Meghan experienced. From the moment Diana joined the royal family, she was thrust into the media spotlight, where her every move was distorted and sensationalized. She became the subject of constant press attention, much of it focused on her personal struggles and perceived flaws. Harry sees the same treatment mirrored in Meghan's experiences, especially when their relationship was made public. Meghan faced a barrage of negative press that painted her as an outsider, questioning her place within the royal family and even scrutinizing her race. For Harry, the media's role in attacking both his mother and wife has been deeply painful, as it has left both women feeling helpless, vulnerable, and isolated. Harry's own reflections emphasize how the media painted Meghan as a villain, amplifying her every mistake and creating a narrative that trapped her in an image of someone who didn't belong. This was similar to the way the press treated Diana, especially as her marriage to Prince Charles crumbled. Diana not only dealt with the constant hounding of the press, but also found herself losing control over her own narrative. In Harry's eyes, the media frenzy that Meghan faced mirrored his mother's painful experiences, which only reinforced his desire to protect his family from the same toxic environment that had such a damaging effect on Diana. The lack of support from the royal family is another striking parallel Harry sees between his mother and his wife. Harry often speaks about how the royal family failed to offer Meghan the protection and understanding she needed as she was attacked by the media. Despite public concerns about Meghan's mental health and the intense pressures she faced, the royal family offered little support. This sense of abandonment felt eerily familiar to Harry, who watched his mother navigate her struggles largely on her own. Diana, despite being at the heart of the royal family, was often left to cope with her emotional turmoil and isolation. Her marriage to Charles deteriorated in public view, and her mental health suffered. Yet the royal family remained largely silent and unsupportive. For Harry, this absence of support is a major factor in why he has spoken out so forcefully about his desire to protect his family and break free from the constraints of royal life. The decision for Harry and Meghan to step away from royal life was driven in large part by their desire to avoid repeating the mistakes of the past, especially those made with Diana. Harry has been clear that he wants to create a different future for his family, one that doesn't reflect the same pain and struggle that defined his mother's life. By leaving the royal family, Harry and Meghan sought the freedom to focus on their own well-being and their charitable work without the constant scrutiny of the press. They wanted to build a life where they could be seen as more than just public figures, but as individuals with their own identities and aspirations. Both Harry and Meghan have continued to champion causes that align with Diana's legacy, advocating for mental health awareness, social justice, and humanitarian work. For Harry, honoring his mother's memory means continuing her work and helping to create a world where people can be more open about their struggles. He reflects on how the royal family's focus on image often overshadowed the human beings behind the titles, and how speaking out about their own struggles can help break the cycle of pain that has long been associated with royal life. Diana's struggles echo in Harry's journey. How much of her spirit shapes his fight for privacy and change? As he follows her legacy, can he protect his family from the same royal pressures that once shattered hers? Harry's tribute to Diana. Harry has been candid about how his mother's spirit continues to shape his life, guiding him through both moments of triumph and deep personal struggle. Despite the intense loss of his mother at such a young age, Harry's reflections reveal the profound impact Diana's compassion, resilience, and humanity have had on his worldview and his unwavering commitment to social causes. In many ways, Diana's legacy lives on through Harry, influencing his approach to both personal and public challenges. Harry's reflections on his mother paint a picture of a woman whose strength wasn't just defined by her royal position, but by her unyielding desire to connect with people on a personal level. Diana's empathy transcended the boundaries of royal duty. She used her platform to bring attention to the issues that mattered most to her, from campaigning against landmines to her charitable work. In the years following her death, Harry has often echoed his mother's values, using his own position to advocate for mental health, social justice, and humanitarian causes. For Harry, Diana's dedication to making a tangible difference in the lives of others is a guiding light, influencing how he approaches both the work he does in public and the way he chooses to live privately. In his relationship with Meghan Markle, Harry has also reflected on how Diana's approach to motherhood has shaped his own role as a father. Diana worked hard to ensure that her sons, Prince William and Harry, experienced a childhood that was as normal as possible, given the pressures of royal life. She would take them on outings to amusement parks and try to shield them from the darker aspects of royal life. Harry has taken that same approach with his own children, striving to create an environment where they can grow up without the constant spotlight that plagued his own upbringing. Harry's commitment to providing his children with a sense of privacy and normalcy is a direct reflection of the lessons he learned from his mother's own attempts to protect her sons from the harsh realities of royal life. However, Diana's influence on Harry goes beyond the personal realm. It extends into his public advocacy and the causes he champions. Diana's philanthropic legacy was far-reaching, as she was not just a figurehead for charity, but someone who genuinely cared about the causes she supported. Harry has continued this tradition, using his platform to support causes related to mental health, climate change, and veterans' rights. His work with the Invictus Games, a global sporting event for wounded veterans, mirrors his mother's commitment to giving voice to those who are often overlooked. Harry's role as a humanitarian reflects Diana's belief in the power of human connection and the importance of using one's position to make a difference in the world. Diana's legacy, as Harry describes it, is not just about a tragic past or the challenges she faced, but about the enduring impact of her love, her fight for compassion, and her dedication to creating a better world. Harry, in his reflections, continues to hold her as a guiding figure in his life, both personally and professionally. Diana's spirit remains a force in Harry's world, shaping his every step and helping him and Meghan navigate the challenges of royal life, public expectations, and their own family dynamic. Her legacy is alive, not only in Harry's heart, but in the work he does, the causes he champions, and the family he continues to build. But what do you think? Could there be more to Princess Diana's story than we've been told? Do Harry's revelations change how you see the royal family? Or is it all too far-fetched? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We can't wait to hear your take on this emotional and deeply personal journey.